Game 1 has wrapped up for each NBA playoff series, and we had some pretty good games and some definitely not so good games. We'll start out in the West, Thunder versus Suns. This one was over from the jump. It was clear that throughout the entire season, the Suns' bigs were their weak point. They excelled, exceeded expectations above everything else when it comes to the guards, the wings, but the bigs still could use some work. And they're not necessarily bad. There is room for progression. You got young guys like Kaman Malawak, you got Mark Williams. You know, those guys could become something. Iguodaro, not to mention. So, it's not over for the Suns team. Maybe you try and run it back with the same squad, add a few pieces. You still need a big. One of those guys isn't going to fill the role, take a jump in 1 year, but maybe in 3-4 years, one of them at least takes a jump. Anyways, back to the game. The Thunder just dominated down low, and the bigs were the weakness for the Suns team. They were just outsized, and Chet had a field day. Shea obviously did his thing, and it's just a skill thing. This Thunder team is insane. And yeah, the Suns team just kind of isn't really made for playoffs. I feel like whenever you think of Dillon Brooks, you think of losing in the first, if not the second round. Go back to this Rockets team. They lost last year to 7-seeded Golden State. You look at this Grizzlies team a couple of years ago. They lost to the 7-seeded Lakers. It's kind of a trend, and obviously this Suns team didn't have too many expectations going in against this Thunder team, but is it time to have that talk? Something's going on with Dillon Brooks. But Devin Booker did his thing. Jalen Green, not bad. You're just outskilled as the Suns. Let's talk about the most unexpected game out of the entire weekend. Magic versus Pistons. Hey, congrats to you, the Magic, picking up the win. You guys look good. Ever since you guys lost to Philly and looked worse than the Utah Jazz, the Washington Wizards, you stepped up. You blew out the red-hot Hornets. A game where you had no expectations. The fans, media, all thought the Hornets were destined to make the playoffs. And you showed why you belong. Paolo, for anyone that's doubting you out there, you showed them what's up. You played well, you were efficient, shots were just falling. And for this Detroit Pistons team, it kind of looks like he didn't take the jump from last year to this year in the playoffs. Not in the regular season, in the playoffs. Guys haven't looked like they progressed. Mr. Asar Thompson, his offensive bag has not really taken the jump from last year to this year. He was still unplayable at times, and if that doesn't work, a guy as good defensively as Asar Thompson, if you can't play him, something's got to change on offense. Another guy is Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren kind of looks sluggish out there, especially on offense. He just wasn't playable. You had to have Isaiah Stewart out there sometimes, and that's not a good recipe. You need guys to step up because this team, this Detroit Pistons team, is not as talented as some of the other top dogs out there. You're going to need some flow, some energy. You're going to need defensive stops time and time again, and you're going to have someone other than Cade take care of the offense. That was not the case on, Sunday? That was not the case on Sunday. And maybe not this series, because we've seen the Magic win Game 1 against the Raptors, the Bucks, plenty of other teams, and losing 5. But, man, against this Cavs team, I don't know if I'm rocking with Detroit. They kind of look sluggish. I'm intrigued to see what they do in Games 2, 3, 4, 5. I still think this series ends in 5, but who knows? This could go to 6. Maybe the Magic kind of shocked the world. They looked good, and on paper, this Magic team is not bad. Certainly. You got 2 all-star caliber players. Jalen Suggs. Shout out Jalen Suggs. He was popping off. Hitting shots. Playing with heart, man. He was playing with heart. You love to see it. And this series could be a good one. I expect Detroit to bounce back, but man, you just need some more offensive spark. who's going to be your guy other than Cade? I look at it, and Tobias Harris as your second option is not going to cut it. There were some times where Ausar had to come out and Dennis Jenkins had to step in. If your 1-2-3 punch on offense is Cade, okay, followed by Tobias Harris and Dennis Jenkins, I'm sorry, but I'm taking the Cavs if that's the case. Ausar, Jalen Duren, step up, be the players you can be. Because if that's the case, hey, this Detroit Pistons team could be dangerous. But I feel like the percentage chance if we see that is not very high. Another one that was not very close, Celtics-Sixers. The Sixers team doesn't stand a chance without Embiid especially. Tatum was rolling. And it's just so cool to see the Celtics duo. They've just had such a storyline. From going to being this unproven duo, can they win a championship? The thought was no by everyone. Jaylen Brown had his foot halfway out the door before they said, hold on, give us a second, let's rebuild around them. They put a team together and they won the championship. Tatum goes down a couple years later, and this team is looking like they're a play-in team at best. But what does Jaylen Brown do? He puts this team on his back. He carries the weight that his brother was supposed to carry. And he keeps the Celtics team as one of the best teams in the league. And just wait. Tatum comes back. Obviously, got to shake the rust off a little bit, and he does exactly that. And a bit more now. Man, this Celtics team is by far the favorite to come out of the East. And it's really not close. Without Embiid, other than Maxey, the Sixers team just doesn't have much to win a playoff game. VJ Edgecombe is still young. Paul George not even close to what he used to be. This is looking like a sweep. And then I guess we're going in reverse order of days. Spurs versus Trailblazers. This one was interesting at times, but the Spurs were in control for pretty much the entire game. Wemby, hey, I've been saying this since before the playoffs. Wemby could lead this team to a championship, and you wouldn't bat an eye. You would not look twice and be like, no way. This man Wemby is capable at the age of what, 21, 22, of going out there and winning a championship. The Spurs team has the pieces around him, and I'm ready. I'm ready to see Wemby versus Jokic, man. Let's see it right now. Get these two series out of the way. Get the entire first round. This year, there is a tier. There's these top teams, the Knicks, the Celtics, the Pistons, even the Cavs I will throw in there. Then you got the Thunder, you got the Nuggets, the Spurs. Fully healthy, I will put the Lakers in there too. Other than that, I'm not messing with teams like the Rockets, the Timberwolves, the Raptors, no. They're just not on that same level, and it's showed already. And I think that continues. People were saying we got a couple good first round games. No. I think a lot of them end in 5. Some of them could go to 6. I wouldn't be surprised if Nuggets, Wolves go to 6. But I think that still goes to 5. Maybe the Rockets, Lakers goes to 6 if either team doesn't get healthy. But this first round, there's just tiers to it, man. There's levels. And this Spurs team is on another level compared to this Blazers team. And I've been saying this too. As a Blazers fan, I'm not a Blazers fan, but if you're a Blazers fan, you're happy with where this Blazers team is. You were not expecting to make the playoffs. It was okay, let's be the 10 seed, the 9 seed. And we'll be happy with that. We got some young pieces. Deni Avdija has taken a jump like no other. And sure, just enjoy being in the playoffs. This team could take a jump next year and have a bit more expectation, but they're just not as talented as this young Spurs team. Shout out Wemby, though. That dude is going to be a force for at least the next decade if he can stay healthy. Brandon Ingram, shut up and go get 30 tonight. I'm tired of hearing the BS. Like, you cannot be a top guy complaining that you're not getting your shots, that you're out there as a screener. That's not how this works. The keys are yours when it comes to this Raptors offense, and if you're taking, 9 shots? What do you have? 1 or 2 shots in the second half? You're not doing your job. I need to see more on the offensive side, and going into this series, I think it was pretty obvious that this Raptors team offensively is not up to tier with some of these top dogs. And something you had to do as this Raptors team is dig down and fight defensively. This was going to be a defensive battle, and if the Raptors are going to make a run at it, you have to bear down defensively. You have to have some grit, some toughness. These games got to be, I guess in today's NBA, like the low 100s. Put it in the 90s. Have a game with 98, 94. That's how you get a win as the Raptors. You're not going to get a win with, what was the score? 126 to 113. You will never... Hey, if the Raptors allow more than 115 points in this series per game, they won't win. Simple as that. If I'm the Raptors, I am putting heart in holding this Cavs team defensively. Hold them under 110, and you got a good chance at this. Let Scottie do his thing, get B.I. the ball, have quickly come back and be one of those guys, and that's what it's going to take. That's a tough ask, sure, but as the Raptors, I'm not sold on this Raptors team yet. Yes, they had a above average season for their expectations, but still. They're a few pieces away, they're a solid big away, and just another scoring piece too. You got to get a shooter. RJ, I can't say I'm disappointed because I was not expecting much, but he was getting played off the floor defensively. It's unfortunate. This man RJ came into the league and had high expectations, but as far as I see it, he just hasn't been there yet. And especially in the last game, he was an offensive piece, but just couldn't hold his end on the defensive side, and that cost them big. You had guys like Jamal Shed. You had guys like Colin Murray-Boyles. Put up 14. Shed had 17. And it was just tough because guys like Max Strus, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden were doing their thing on the other side. I don't know where this Raptors team goes. This is going to have to be a defensive series if they want to have a chance, but I'm not sold. I think the Cavs are on a mission this playoffs. Donovan Mitchell is hungry. This would be the year that this Cavs team pulls off a run. Timberwolves versus Nuggets. If I'm the Timberwolves, I'm worried. I was not impressed by this Nuggets performance, yet they still win by double digits. Timberwolves started off this game on fire, and they were getting out in transition, getting steals, and it was looking like this T-Wolves team was going to pull away. Jokic got subbed off, Valanciunas came in, and this was the perfect time to extend that lead from 10 to 20. But they didn't. This Nuggets team crawled back, fought their way back. Jamal Murray hit some tough shots. And I think for this Nuggets team, Cam Johnson is going to be your X factor. And he was. He was hitting their shots when the Nuggets were cold in the beginning. Aaron Gordon did his thing. I think he is going to play a big part in this Nuggets success if it comes. He does the dirty work, rebounds, plays defense, hits the three when he needs. I think this Nuggets team is so well put together, even more than some other years. And the thing about them is they got size. This Nuggets team is big. Christian Braun, Cam Johnson, and Aaron Gordon as your 2-3-4 is lanky. That's all I'll say. I think this Nuggets team gets it done in 5. This Timberwolves team is not the same as it was a couple years ago. I don't know, I don't get the same oomph. I don't get the same heart that they had. And it definitely could go 6, but I don't see it. I think this Nuggets team is on a mission this year. And we saw, once things went wrong for the Timberwolves, they kind of folded, let this game slip away, did some dumb things, committed some dumb fouls, and I think this Nuggets team is ready. Knicks versus Hawks. This series, this could get interesting. I love this Hawks team. CJ McCollum's that veteran presence. You got Jalen Johnson, who's your star. I'm gonna need to see more. He had 23, but I don't know. I want to see 30. This Knicks team is so talented. You're gonna have to do better than 23. But this team has depth. Guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dyson Daniels, Onyeka Okongwu. All these guys can put something special together and challenge this Knicks team. This series has the sneaky potential to be the best series of the first round. But shout out this Knicks team. So efficient today. The shots were falling. And they just played with a bit more heart, in my opinion. Cat had 25. Jalen Brunson had 28. It's one of the top duos in the league. Excuse me. But Josh Hart, too. Josh Hart is a guy you want to have on your team when you want to make a playoff run. 14 rebounds. What is he? Somewhere between 6'6" and 6'8". He just plays with heart. It's in the name, man. And this Knicks team is so talented, like I said. Their defense is great. But maybe this Hawks team gives them a little bit of a run for their money. Last game, Rockets versus Lakers. And I'll be so straight up. If Kevin Durant doesn't come back, which he will, but if he doesn't, man, give me the Lakers in 5, healthy or not. This Rockets team just doesn't have a spark on offense. Şengün played like crap. Straight up, he played like garbage. I'm going to need to see more. That is their star player other than KD. And I knew it. I knew. Call me like LeBron, Lion. Say whatever you want to say. But as soon as I saw the notification that Fred VanVleet went down, as a Rockets fan, my expectations went from up here. I was so excited. I was like, man, we just put together a team that has a little bit of everything. Scoring, defense, size. We got our point guard, and Fred went down, and the whole trajectory just flipped on its head. Having a true scorer like Fred was a game changer. And when he went down, sure, Reed Sheppard has stepped up greatly. Shout out to Reed Sheppard, but he hasn't replaced Fred, that's for sure. And we needed a scorer in game 1. Especially when Şengün's not hitting his shots. We're not putting out a death lineup of 6'8 plus like Amen Thompson, KD, Jabari Smith, Şengün, and whoever, Jayshawn Tate, Tari Eason. It's cooked. When you got guys out there who aren't exactly guys you want to play in the playoffs, it's tough. Especially against this injured Lakers team. Not much to say, but this Lakers team played well. Luke Kennard, by God, keep torching keep torching us. I turned off the TV once he hit maybe his 4th or probably his 5th three. I was done. I had enough. LeBron was dishing out the rock, and DeAndre Ayton. I am not a fan of DeAndre Ayton, but he killed us. If he's playing efficient, it's over. That's your X factor. You know, the Nuggets got Cam Johnson. The Lakers' X factor is DeAndre Ayton. If he plays well, not many teams are stopping this Lakers squad, and they could give a Thunder a run for their money. But assuming KD does come back, I just hope the Rockets also bounce back and Şengün steps up, because it's unacceptable. And you put together 2 teams in the last 2 years that get over 50 wins, and you just disappoint. Last year was a very young team. You know, you put together a team this year that's more battle-tested, more playoff-ready, and it'd be disappointing to lose to an injured Lakers squad. But yeah, Raptors game is about to start in 20 minutes. I'm about to get this video up. I won't be as dialed into the Raptors because Pittsburgh Penguins are playing Philadelphia Flyers. Man, go watch some playoff hockey if you got a minute too. That stuff is peak. That is some barn burner sports right there. So I will be tapped into both games, but after that, I think, yeah, the Hawks play the Knicks. I will be watching that. I didn't get a good look at the game 1 for that, so I will be dialed in. And then I'm excited for this Wolves-Nuggets thing. This Wolves-Nuggets game for tonight. I think Ant's going to come ready to play, but so will this Nuggets team. This is not an auto Timberwolves win. This isn't going to be an auto bounce back game for the T-Wolves. You got to earn it every minute against this Nuggets team. So let's just see how these next 2 games go. I guess I won't be talking tomorrow either. I'll probably be back Wednesday. So let's see. Who plays on Wednesday? Who plays tomorrow? Yeah, we're going to sit through this live. Not making a cut. So Tuesday, 76ers versus Celtics. All right. Celtics. I think that's another convincing Celtics win. Trailblazers versus Spurs. And one more thing. That Spurs environment. I loved that. The Spurs crowd was into it. And I do love watching this Portland team. I think the Spurs will take game 2, though. And Houston versus LA. I'm excited to see who's healthy. I want to see the Rockets bounce back. I think they will. Still, though, that is a great series. Let's see some KD versus LeBron. I've been waiting. But, yeah, that's it for the game 1s. I want to hear people's opinions. Let's just see how this NBA playoffs goes, man. It's going to be a good one.